Hello, guys. Good evening, ladies and gents. And, this will be good afternoon. And today we're going to be doing some culture like stuff, specifically with the whole Amber Heard situation. And this is going to be a bit different. This has nothing to really do with the case, particularly, but has all to do with Amber Heard and her psychotic behavior. So, let's get on going into the article. Amber Heard perjury investigation continues in Australia amid Depp trial. Amber Heard's high-profile defamation with trial with Johnny Depp continues. The screen star is facing another potential legal battle in Australia. I don't think she's a screen star at all. She had maybe one movie that I knew her that she was in, and that was due to the fact that she was doing all these allegations against Trump, not Trump, but Johnny Depp. So I don't know how her being a star is necessarily a thing. But I digress. Let's move on to the next. While still married to Depp, Heard navigated a court battle with Australian authorities for taking the couple's pet dogs into the country in May 2015 without declaring them. The trial concluded with her avoiding conviction. In a tape apology, Heard said she was truly sorry for not declaring terriers Pistol and Boo when she entered Australia, which is known for strict quarantine laws. Foreign pets must be quarantined for 10 days when first brought into the country. However, spokesperson for Australia's Department of Agriculture, Water and Environment, DAWE, told Newsweek on Wednesday that the investigations are ongoing over allegations that Heard lied under oath. Oh my, she wouldn't do that now, would she? No. The DAWE representative said that the department was continuing to look into allegations of perjury by Ms. Heard during court proceedings for the 2015 illegal importation of her two dogs in Australia. Newsweek has contacted a representative of Heard for comment. Heard had been charged with making false statement on her immigration card. The Magic Mike XXL star checked no to the question of importing anything into the country that ought to have been declared. She said it was a misunderstanding, as she had assumed her husband's assistants had arranged the terrorist batch into the country where Depp had been shooting Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. And guys, we're going to get into the actual full information here with this whole situation. Of course, this is not going to exactly tell us the full story, but we'll get the full story because we're going to understand what's going on. The perjury investigation was initially revealed in October 2021 with a representative for DWE telling E! News that the department is seeking to obtain witness statements and once obtained, the Commonwealth Director of Public Prosecutions will consider whether the evidence is sufficient to warrant pursuance of the matter. An attorney for her to criticize the investigation, telling the outlet at the time, "It is truly inconceivable, and we are confident it is not true that either the Australian government or the FBI would embrace a policy of further pursuing victimizing a person who has already been adjudicated to be the victim of domestic violence," which is shown to be false by all the actual information that's being shown. Unless Amber Heard produces an immense amount of evidence that shows that she was abused by Johnny Depp, which is what we're going to see here, is going to be showing that she's the abuser, I'm going to say she's pretty much screwed. Heard pleaded guilty in court, but Magistrate Bernadette Colon gave the actor a company to the Queensland hearing by Depp a 1,001-month good behavior bond with no record recorded conviction. She had previously avoided 2 charges for illegal importation, and Depp and Heard apologized in a video shown in court at the time. However, Depp later mocked the video while promoting one of his films in the UK in 2016. Heard filed for divorce from Depp in 2016, and their union was officially dissolved at the start of 2017. She accused Depp of domestic abuse during their divorce proceedings in 2016. Okay, great. All nice. But we all know on how this is all wishy-washy to this stuff. However, we're going to go into the actual story of Heard and all this other stuff that's been happening here. So, we're going to have from Christopher C. Melcher that is explaining exactly the full story and all what's going on. This is a kind of a long thread, so we're going to try to go over it. But from what we're seeing here is that This is the true of what's all going on with Amber Heard and what she did in Australia and with the dogs. We will be going over an actual audio tape that will be explaining exactly what she said after all this happened. He goes on to explain, in April 2015, Amber Heard wanted to take the couple's 2 Yorkshire Terriers, Boo and Pistol, to Australia. Assistant Kevin Murphy told Amber that taking the dogs would violate Australia's rules protecting its biosecurity. We will go over these 2 things here. I began to have concerns in mid to late March 2015 that timing the constraints were not going to allow the dogs to be vaccinated in time to travel to Australia by mid-April 2015. I expressed those concerns to Ms. Heard in person, by phone, and in emails. Ms. Heard asked me on several occasions if there was any other way to get the dogs to Australia. I investigated different options, but they involved allowing dogs to Australia. I investigated different options, but they involved allowing the dogs to fly cargo on another flight. Ms. Heard would not allow that, so we ran out of options. At this point, Ms. Heard appeared to accept that there was nothing else that we could do, and that the dogs would not be able to travel to Australia in time for her flight. See the exchange between Ms. Heard and the pages. So we'll go to the next one, which also goes on to say, I explained to Ms. Heard on several occasions, animals into Australia was like no other country that we had sent the dogs to before in terms of the length and specificity of the paperwork process and mandatory quarantine upon arrival. I also explained to Ms. Heard several times that the fact that they're trying to take the dogs into Australia without completing the mandatory process was illegal and could result in very harsh penalties, including utilizing the dogs and fines and potential jail time. Well, okay, so I'll briefly go over into exactly what's this, my opinion on Australia. I do not believe and I do not like the fact that Australia would euthanize dogs to do the COVID things and all of that stuff. I think that's grotesque, and I do not believe that's the other thing. Australia is want to keep on calling you USA and whatever terrible, but you guys are doing atrocities that I cannot believe. I may believe that Australia killed dogs, killed or shot dogs in Australia to prevent COVID. You guys are sick, all right? The fact that you guys are kind of letting this happen is kind of showing how Australians have exactly no backbone. Although I did see a major protest in Australia, which good on to you, but again, get some more backbone and fight against your corrupt, evil government. My God, the fact that you're allowing this is sickening. Johnny Depp did not want the dogs to travel on airplanes, believing they should stay in Los Angeles. He put the interests of Boo and Pistol ahead of his desire to be with them. At no time did I discuss this matter with Mr. Depp, because he never wanted the dogs to travel on any occasion, as he felt they would have better care in Los Angeles with staff. Okay? What he goes on to say, but Amber Heard took the dogs to Australia anyway, via a private jet, knowing it was in a violation of Australia's strict rules. Upon getting to work the morning following of Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard's departure for Australia, I was shocked to learn that Ms. Heard had taken the dogs despite our discussions and my warnings of severe legal ramifications. I spoke with Jerry Judge shortly afterwards, who explained that Ms. Heard had insisted on bringing them to Australia. At Exhibit KM2, pages 10 to 11 are the messages exchanged between me and Miss Jabrowski and Mr. Dueters when they learned that Miss Heard had gone to Australia with the dogs. And it's going to go on to say here, Amber was caught and the dogs were placed in custody. Australia threatened to euthanize the dogs unless they were removed immediately, a consequence Amber was warned about if she illegally brought to them. There's the dogs here. And now we have Johnny Depp hired a private jet to fly the Boo and Pistol back to Los Angeles for their safety. Deputy Prime Minister Barnaby Joyce tweeted "Dogs gone" and suffers indignity from Amber, as explained later. Criminal charges were filed against Amber Heard for the illegal import of animals and knowingly producing a false or misleading document which carried a potential for 10 years in prison. Oh my, that can't be good for her. Amber Heard wanted former assistant Kate James to lie to the court and take the blame. Emails between Amber and her attorney discussed Amber's desire to obtain false statement from Kate. Amber, if you look at my email below on October 9th, I responded to Carl's email when he said that he thought you could get Kate to sign a statement. That would be great. Therefore, if you could get Kate to sign a statement, it could be helpful. I don't know what your relationship with her is at this time since you fired her. You have to be careful that she will cooperate and will not go public if you ask her not to be truthful. She goes on to say, I'm waiting to hear back from you before I reach out to Kate to liaise with Kate AH. So we're going to go with that here. And now we'll go on to the next page. Do this part of the email. It seems like the AH to Martin, Carl, and me. Great. I will procure that statement ASAP and send it to you guys. Anything in Pacific that would be extra important and helpful. Please let me know if there's anything that I would specifically ask for. Also, I spoke to Kevin and he said that he sent you guys all the evidence of the dog's numerous international travels. The only thing that we are missing is evidence of the process being initiated, however not completed, and therefore the dogs weren't taken on the trip. That is hard to prove, obviously, since it involves documenting something that didn't happen. However, since I knew we attempted to bring them at least once before the Australia trip, I can ask Kate to include that in her statement. That would be helpful. She showed that would, and then on the last one it says that would be great. So, there we have it. It goes on to say, when Kate James refused Amber Heard to ask Kevin Murphy to take the fall, Kevin protests and Amber threatens his employment if he does not comply. As stated at paragraph 9 of my first witness statement, on or about October 2015, Ms. Heard requested that I make a false statement regarding the dog's illegal entrance into Australia. When I expressed that I was extremely uncomfortable with this, Ms. Heard said to me, well, I want your help on this. I wouldn't want you to have a problem with your job. It became very apparent to me that Ms. Heard was threatening my job stability unless I cooperated with providing a declaration that I supported her false account for the Australia proceedings. Because of this, I felt extreme pressure to cooperate, despite knowing this would involve being untruthful. See what we're seeing here with this person is that she's an absolute god-awful person. She's a garbage human being, absolute garbage. Kevin Murphy provides a declaration prepared by Amber Heard's attorney that Kate James failed to obtain clearance for the dogs. Kevin would later admit that a statement was false. It goes on to say, on 13th October 2015, I signed a declaration for the Australian proceedings that discussed the circumstances in which Miss Heard brought her and Mr. Depp's dogs into Australia. This declaration was prepared by Ms. Heard's U.S. lawyer in this matter. That declaration contained statements that were not entirely truthful. It was not true that Ms. Kate James, Ms. Heard's assistant, was responsible for the paperwork and had not completed it, and that this was the reason why Ms. Heard traveled with the dogs to Australia without the necessary paperwork. The true position is that I was responsible for the paperwork, which I could not obtain in time, and that Ms. Heard was fully aware of this in advance of traveling to Australia with the dogs. With a false statement in hand, Amber Heard told the Australian court she was distracted when completing with the rival form and blamed her former assistant Kate James for not clearing the dogs for travel. And she goes to blame everything on to her good friend Kate James when it was her at fault. She caused this. Amber Heard is let off with a warning. Kate James learns through the Brisbane news that she had been falsely blamed for the terrier incident. I remember the huge uproar at the time. I was told that Johnny had to send the dogs back to Los Angeles on a private jet, which had to cost a fortune from Australia. Ultimately, I woke up one morning many months later to find an email from my mother with an attachment of a newspaper article from my home of town Brisbane. I was devastated when I found out that Amber had blamed me in court. I broke down in tears at the thought that she blatantly lied in court in my hometown and blamed me. Obviously, I knew that was a complete lie, and yet she had no problem apparently perjuring herself in order to avoid responsibility. Accountability again! Johnny and Amber Heard gave a statement on the importance of respecting Australian law, which has been featured as a hostage video.
And finally tonight, a movie star couple in the doghouse. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard shooting a 39-second video to apologize for offending an entire continent. Now, there's no score yet on Rotten Tomatoes, but critics are saying it's not their best work. Here's Nick Watt.
I am truly sorry that Pistol and Boo were not declared. Protecting Australia is important.
Declare everything when you enter Australia.
Johnny, how are Pistol and Boo?
Online wags say it's a hostage video in what they call the War on Terrier.
Australia is a wonderful island with a treasure trove of unique plants, animals, and people.
It has to be protected.
I don't think it would be something they would have willingly wanted to do, deadpanned the Aussie deputy PM who once threatened to kill Pistol and Boo.
Mr. Depp has to either take his dogs back to California or we're going to have to euthanize them.
Back then, Depp called him a sweaty, big-gutted man. Today,
When you disrespect Australian law, they will tell you firmly.
Jack Sparrow choking on humble pie. Turns out the critically cudgeled Mordecai
What is in it for me, as they say?
was not the nadir of Depp's fine acting career.
Australians are just as unique, both warm and direct.
Nick Watt, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And that is all for us.
And fantastic. Now we'll go on to but in this audio recording, Amber Heard falsely claims that Johnny Depp made her take the rap for the dog and capper. Johnny tells her to get out of his life. Amber continued to travel with her dog and joked about the Australia incident. Cheeky Amber Heard mocked her infamous international dog smuggling incident as she pretended to sneak a pooch into a Syrian refugee camp on Tuesday. And then, in the final identity to Australia, Amber names her new dog Barnaby Joyce after the Deputy Prime Minister of Australia. Every dog has its day, and let's hope the Australian government will bring perjury charges against Amber for the false statements she made and procured in this war of terriers. Amber Heard denied the allegations and says Johnny Depp was with her on the plane with the dogs 21st of April 2015. She says JD's staff was responsible for the paperwork and she took the fall to help JD. As noted by Eno, the English judge didn't believe Kevin Murphy's retraction of his Australian declaration. The story relies on believing Murphy over Amber, who says relied on the same as his dogs were declared to travel. Now, guys, we'll go on to the next thread, or the last one, to where it clearly shows Amber Heard being angry at Johnny for bringing the dogs to Australia when it was technically all her fault.
So, let's talk about how much you fucking helped me, mister. I had it all figured out because I didn't do stupid movies ever. I didn't ever make a mistake. I did perfect all the time. Oh no! At least you didn't do a movie where you were like,
get out, man. You're belligerent.
yeah, you got it all figured
You're
out.
belligerent,
You
man.
didn't do Magic Mike. You fucking got it all figured out, man. You just did TV shows and fucking whatever movies. You did it all right, sensei of fucking master of fucking cinema. God, if ever I could be so perfect.
No, I did
But
what you did,
since
but I
you
did
did
it
all
better.
that shit, thanks for helping me with my thing that you got me in trouble with. Thanks. Let me take the rap for that, and then not help me.
Got you in
Thanks.
trouble
Yeah,
with?
thanks, big man. Big man.
What was
big
it?
Big fucking man.
What did I get you in trouble with?
Big man.
You don't even know.
Our dogs that you brought into the country with me for your movie on your fucking plane, and then you let your fucking wife take all the shit for it. Thanks. Oh, just like the home wrecker shit that you never fucking rectified.
Get out of my
Piece
fucking
of
life.
shit, you're a coward. You're a fucking piece of shit.
Don't-
And you fucking go suck my fucking dick like everyone else who fucking sucks yours. Go fucking suck my dick. You fucking cowardless, ballless piece of shit.
I want nothing to
You,
do with
I
it.
don't want anything to fucking do with you. You don't want fucking something to do with you. You think I want that fucking old ass fucking piece of shit?
Ah.
Fuck you. You're a fucking joke, man. And you're an embarrassment that I even came here and wasted my time trying to get you back.
Good. Go deal with that. Watch that wide load, bro.
Oh, what do you want to say? What do you want to say?
I was thinking
You
that
wanna
poor
say
little Amber.
something else?
All she
You wanna
wanted to
say-
do.
No, I want to hear what else.
Hey, what was the posters
wait,
on your
you don't
wall
wanna
when you were a kid?
Rosie the fucking Riveter. What were yours? Rosie the Riveter too? Or you want to know because you're interested in me?
Well, I think Mom had some different ideas of what you had.
Ask her. Call her. Call her. Let's see what she says. I want to know.
I've spoken to her.
Ask her. Ask her. Call her right now.
No, it's not.
No, I think you should go. She's out.
And as we see, guys, that Amber is a bloody lunatic, probably should be put in jail, and never be seen the light of day, because this woman is batshit insane. How, listen, if anybody is defending Amber at this point, you're also a lunatic, you have mental problems, and you should probably shift back to, or I don't know, any place that allows your insanity. This woman is an abuser, she's showing to be an abuser, and she's a lunatic. End of story. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.